Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mike's Garage. Well, I got a few comments. I want to address them. Some of them I'm going to do on Saturday night, 9 o'clock. Don't forget, we're going to do a live show again. We did have some technical difficulties last Saturday night, but we got it done. So listen, the questions I got was, how did you get the news in Vietnam? What was there, newspapers? Was there something that they posted on the bulletin board? What happened? Well, we really didn't get any bad news. The one thing I remember hearing about on the radio was Woodstock, about how everybody got together and they went to a big peace festival up in New York and how wonderful it was, and they named all the bands and everything. And the rest of it, you just got on the radio. Didn't have the internet, really didn't have a newspaper. We did have two radio stations. One was the Vietnam channel with Adrian Cronauer. Now that was a guy. I love that guy. He used to start off the show every morning with that big long "Good morning Vietnam," and everybody around would stop what they were doing and they would scream "Good morning Vietnam" at the same time he did. It was a riot. And the other channel was Hanoi Hannah, and she was the typical propaganda thing. Really didn't have her on the radio too often. Every once in a while we would listen to her and she would tell us how we're wasting our lives, and she would tell us how many Americans got killed and wounded, and we weren't going to win and we should just stop fighting and go home, and all that propaganda stuff. That's what we got from Hanoi Hannah. The rest of it was pretty upbeat. The Vietnam radio show was run by the military. Like I say, the favorite guy over there for me was Adrian Cronauer. That was in the 70s. And that he would play rock and roll, and he would do comedy, and he would do all that kind of radio stuff. And the other shows, they had classical music hour. They had an hour or two or an afternoon of country music. And they would mix it up for everybody because there wasn't anything else to listen to. There was a couple of Vietnamese radio channels, but they played Vietnamese music and everything was in Vietnamese, so it wasn't really any sense listening to that. And so that's what we got. We got either the good news or we got a couple of good rock and roll songs, and didn't find out that there were protests or anything going on. Didn't find out about any of the politicians, how they were voting or not voting on the whole thing. And I did know that they had stopped the draft. Well, they didn't stop the draft. They went to, I guess it's the lottery system. I think I was drafted, and the next round of drafts, they started with the lottery system about who was going to go, and the deferments and all that were overlooked for the most part, and they were drafting more people because I know you couldn't get into college, you couldn't get in any kind of a program where you would have an exemption from getting drafted. So I didn't have an exemption. But that was our main source, was radio. Adrian Cronauer was my favorite radio show over there. I think Robin Williams did a good job telling you all about him. We had been down in that green zone in Vietnam, Saigon, a couple times, and it was a pretty safe place to go. I mean, it was pretty guarded. It was heavily guarded, and was cool. But anyway, that was it. You listen to the radio. People would tell you stories that they heard from home. People would read you a letter that they got from home, and that's how you found out everything. Listen, stay tuned Saturday night. Got some more comments coming my way. If you have a comment or you want me to talk about something or tell you about my experience with something, give me a comment. We're going to do it live Saturday night right here from Mike's Garage, 9 o'clock. We'll see you then. Take care.